Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the iRacing Esports Network, and welcome to Florida for the latest installment of the ARL, the Apex Racing League TCR Winter Series. We've had 4 race meetings. We're on to race meeting number 5, and we're at the host of the Sebring 12 Hours. We are on the international layout of the circuit today. As far as I'm aware, that is a change to the final corner, so that could make things pretty interesting indeed, and it is still pretty tight in the championship standing. In the commentary box today, alongside me, Adam Bath, is a winner in the BSRT, well, formerly the BSRTC, the ARL TCR, Andrew Woodhouse, and we've got Sam Kumo on the cameras as well, so this should be pretty good. And Woody, if I could bring you in quickly just to talk about the track. Sebring, it's pretty bumpy, and it's pretty flat with it being a former airfield, and as the qualifying session takes place right now, I think we're in for 3 very good races.
Yeah, completely different, isn't it? Good evening, everyone. Completely different to the Circuit de Catalunya that we were at last week. Where, in terms of the track surface, a lot of this is concrete. It's bumpy. The surface is sort of cracked and sort of broken up in places, and there's some new tarmac down. It's a bit different. It's a lot narrower here as well, Adam, which should mean that the racing is quite intriguing, shall we say?
Yeah, of course. So this track has barely been modified really in all of its use. This is Sunset Bends that we're going into here. And we're riding on board with Nicole Foggy as we have just under 2 minutes left in the qualifying session. Jack Sedgwick is currently on provisional pole with 2 minute 12.863. He has literally just done that in the last few moments. And you can see how close everybody is. Just a tenth of a second between Sedgwick and Brandon, and then it's Foggy who we're riding on board with here in third, and then it's Dave Baker, Dan Kraft, Ross McFarlane, and then Rich Warmingham, who is leading the way in the Pro-Am category. Warmingham, who didn't have the best of race meetings, I should say, in the World GT Championship on Monday, another series that you can see on this channel. And then in 8th, it's Pete Newman, 9th, Chris Wood, and in 10th, Smith is Alex Simpson, and this leads us on nicely into the Drivers' Championship, because after 4 race meetings, it is Ross McFarlane that leads the way. He's got a 68-point cushion over Jack Sedgwick in second, and then it's Jamie Rushworth in third, up 4 places from before we started the last race meeting at Catalunya. So Jamie Rushworth has really had a good time in Spain and Iberia. He's hoping to carry that over to Florida. And Nicole Foggy down 2 places to 4th, and then it's Miguel Freitas 8 points ahead of Chris Wood, and then Adam Hedgecock, Jack McIntyre, Pete Newman and Dan Kraft. Adam Hedgecock, the only driver in the top 10 in the overall category, with that is an AM driver. That's why you can't see him on the pro graphics that we've got on the screen. In the AM category, there we go, it is Adam Hedgecock that leads the way. He has a 56-point lead over Kip Stevens. And it's Paul Smith in third. He's got a 2-point advantage over John Roberts in fourth. And then it's Mark Woodhouse in fifth with his teammate Michael Blake in sixth. Small-time Sim also having a really good crack at the AM Championship this season. So too Automech. They've been some real standouts. And then, of course, you've got the ever-consistent Boosted with Hedgecock and John Roberts. They are doing quite well at the moment. So John Roberts also was racing in the VSR TCR on Sunday. Moving over to the Teams Championship as the checkered flag is out. It's XVR Sim Racing leading Team Mad by just 48 points, and Sim Sports Racing USA a further 10 behind them. And then it's Evolution Racing Team V Racers, DQR Automech, and Knight Rider and Small Time Sim Mortal are leading the Pro-Am team. So that is the state of play in the relative championships. Checkered flag is now out in the qualifying session, and they're just going down the back straight now. Here is Dave Baker. He's currently in 5th place, just a matter of hundredths of a second behind Alex Simpson, literally just a few hundredths of a second in it. And Woody, as we count down to the start of the race, this midfield is really going to be where the scrapping is, because compared to Catalunya with its fast open straights and pretty flowing corners, you're going to have to really think about where you get your overtaking done around here, because if you get it wrong, you can easily crash into the car in front of you or end up getting hit from behind.
Yeah, I mean, it could happen anyway, couldn't it? But I think, yeah, in general, you've got to pick your overtakes here. You can't be careless. The walls are in play in quite a few of the corners as well, especially in the final sector. Sorry, in the first sector, final corner leading onto the main straight, and then turn one coming out of there. We've seen many drivers hit the wall and have some accidents in whatever what the first corner's called. I've forgotten what it's called, but turn one, that one. It should be fun. It should be a fun one. It should be a fun race.
Not too long before we get the grid up on you.
That's top quality analysis, that, by the way. That's what the fans are here for, isn't it?
That's what these lots subscribe for, and that's what they're here on a Thursday. Checkered flag is that we're waiting for just 2 more drivers across the line. It looks like P32. That is oh dear me, that is Sean Gardner, and then P40, which is Kit Stevens. Both of them Pro-Am drivers, and both having very good starts to the seasons. Gardner and Stevens. Stevens in particular, he's right up there with Adam Hedgecock in the boosted car, so he'll be hoping his form can continue here to Sebring. Yeah,
good to see 46 cars out there as well. We're expecting a lot of action. Some drivers who might have fallen foul of the stewards: Lewis Bibby, Rusty Laidler, Jack McIntyre, Adam Hadfield, Sven Glatzel at the back, and possibly sent there without their own. It's not their own doing, put it this way.
I believe we've got a few new entries to the series this week, so keep an eye out for them. Edward May being one of them. I can see that. That's a new name on the entry.
Always good to see new entries, yeah.
Benga Light. I know that he's a familiar name, but have we been seeing him?
He's been in, yeah, he has, yeah.
Sorry,
I think he has for a lot of the season, yeah.
Craig Harris is also here for Brit. Yeah. True. Good process taking place.
Craig Harris is also, like you said, yeah. It's good to see him there. Good to see the BritTech guys in the series.
Yeah, we're familiar with them. Having raced with them on a Sunday.
So Jack Sedgwick takes pole position then.
Yeah.
For the first round of the evening. Johnny Brandon in second. Nico Foggy third for XVR. XVR looked very quick here. Alex Simpson with a late lap. A big improvement, actually. 0.4 of a second on his final lap up to P4. David Baker in 5th. Dan Kraft in P6. Ross McFarlane up to 7th. And then Rich Warmingham 8th. The highest AM driver. Great result from him in qualifying. Jamie Rushworth 9th ahead of Miguel Freitas. Then Pete Newman. Chris Wood in 12th for Team Mad. 13th, Pete Harrod. 14th for Colin Cunningham. 15th for Wojciech Savinovich. Struggling in qualifying in the Winter Series. Jack Ashton 16th. 17th for Christian Rose. Mark Woodhouse in 18th. 19th for Ben Palmer. 20th, Michael Hall. 21st for George Simmons. Ferenc Kern in 22nd. I believe that's his best qualifying of the season. Alex Neller in 23rd. Adam Delmont 24th. 25th for Julian Janowski. And then Paul Smith in 26th. Jason Cooper follows in 27th with Matt Bunn just behind him. Adam McNally 29th. Edward May in 30th in what I believe is his debut in the series. Michael Blake 31st. John Gardner 32nd. 33rd for John Roberts and Adam Hedgecock in 34th. David Van Broek in 35th. 36th for Lars Van Ryn. Then Martin Sampson. Then Rob Graham. Craig Harris. Kit Stevens. Jack McIntyre. Sven Glatzel. Lewis Bibby. Ben Galite. Adam Hadfield, Rusty Laidler, and Ben Galite. Sorry, Adam. There you go.
He did it. He did it in all 2 minutes. And now, here we go. Here come the lights, and we're getting set for the first race of the day at Sebring. It's Sedgwick on the front row on the right, and then it's Johnny Brandon on the left. And the green lights are on, and we're away. Brilliant start by Nico Foggy, who started in third. He's definitely going to get second. He might even get the lead as he nearly goes into the side of Jack Sedgwick. It's going to be Johnny Brandon. It looks like he's going to take the lead. He's got the racing line for turn 1. And he just about has the advantage.
Yeah, great start by Johnny Brandon. Manages to overhaul Sedgwick, and we'll see what happens going forward as it's set to be a fierce rivalry. It's a very narrow section, this in the infield.
Left-hander and onto the big bend on the way towards the hairpin. A bit of side-by-side action there. That's Jamie Rushworth trying to get by Rich Warmingham. It hasn't been the best of starts by the...
somebody's spun, I think.
Oh, massive one. Oh dear. Now surely they're going to have to throw the safety car for this because there's literally no way out of that. There's boosted cars off. There's that's Ferenc Kern. You just mentioned his best qualifying of the season. Now that's happened. Many things have gone wrong here. That's Michael Blake. I was touching on how well Smart Times Immortal have had a good start to the season. There's a Automech car that's had something kicked out of it. Steering probably.
Yeah, not a terrific start there. Wojciech Svidovic and Jack Ashton are exchanging positions as well, 14th and 15th for them.
Indeed, yeah, going into Tower Bend, this is... oh, look at that, that's the CQR car flying up the inside. It's 3 wide and just behind Wojciech Svidovic. That's the likes of Christian Rose, Ben Palmer, they're all going at it. And yeah, Wojciech Svidovic, he's been right in the thick of the action so far. He started 14th, he remains... he started 15th, he remains 15th as they go into the Le Mans comp.
George Simmons' internet continues to be powered by potatoes as he disappears again. Palmer just behind him now, losing a bit of ground. He's got the CQR boys behind him, Rose, Hall. Rose and, I said CQR boys. Ex-CQR boys, I suppose. Hall and Harrod and Christian Rose currently in the CQR team. They're having a bit of a tussle into Sunset Bend, but you can see on the track map just out of the field is spread out with a couple of those small incidents. That group 24th to 31st on their own, and then 32nd to 38th together. So yeah, a few small problems already. We've lost Nella, we've lost McNally, we've lost Van Rijn, we've lost Sampson, Galite and Harris. I don't think those two took the start. 3 wide through turn 1.
Will it work out into turn 2? It just about does. This is the battle between Dan Kraft, Ross McFarlane, Alex Simpson. Then Alex Simpson has just been passed, by Ross McFarlane. So that's McFarlane into 6th. Alex hasn't had the best start. 3 places lost for the former World Championship Grand Prix Series driver. He's trying to get one of them back straight away by trying to get by the V-Racer car going into the hairpin.
Yeah, he's not always the absolute strongest first lap driver is Alex, but does seem to get going quite well, and when he settles into his rhythm there are a few better, as evidenced by multiple top 10 finishes in the World Championship. And here it is, Jack Sedgwick trying to take the lead away from Johnny Brandon and put it back in the hands of ERT.
Very close indeed, going through the left hand. What about Tower Bend? It's going to be Sedgwick up the inside.
Ooh.
So difficult to go too wide through there.
And you can see how bumpy it is there. As soon as he got sideways, Johnny Brandon, the car just tried to go away from him, slip and sliding around, but front wheel drive car, fairly difficult to spin of its own volition anyway. Foggy's right on the back of this as well, Adam. We know how good he is in the second half of the race.
Yeah, it is very difficult to turn these cars around, especially, I think the only way you can do is if you press the handbrake in the middle of a corner. Not that I didn't see any. That was
wouldn't have ever seen that before, no.
Here's a replay. Oh, it's Alex Nella getting turned around.
And then that wasn't the wisest. Oh, God.
Oh, it was something to rival Alex Walensky's J-turn.
That was not the right direction to spin the car back round, and I think he probably realised that just as he did it.
Paul Smith does a live stream of this. I think that he was involved in that, and I think he probably would have had a good view of that.
Imagine Smith was putting a few 4-letter words out the screen in a Yorkshire accent. I imagine Nella was saying a few 4-letter words in his head as well. Probably realised he looks a bit stupid now, I think, probably. Freighter sets the fastest lap, though, with 5 out of the 20 minutes gone. Miguel Freitas there for Team Mad. In P9, where did he start? He started in 10th, so positive start for him.
Yeah, car 999 in P9. And he's just got behind him a battle between Pete Newman and Jack Ashton. This is over a spot inside the top 10. And is the Excite car going to look at the inside? He thinks about it.
He's going to have a go into the hairpin, isn't he? Newman thinks about closing the door, but doesn't need to in the end. Ashton sort of was just putting the nose there, I think, hoping Newman made a mistake more than anything else. It's not been a good start for Rushworth, Adam, as well. I think he might have been the CQR car that was going off at the start. He's down to 16th.
Some big gainers as well. Yeah, he's down in 16th place. So Jamie, he's lost 7 places. That hairpin, it is quite difficult. It is unbelievably quite difficult to make a move stick there, just because the way the corner, the exit of the corner goes. It's difficult to put the power down, and then you're struggling after that. Biggest movers, Sven Glatzel's gained 20 places. He started 42nd. He's up to 22nd. There he is. He's
that's very good.
Yeah, he's in the middle of a train right now. He's got Pete Harrod just in front of him.
He must have managed to just navigate his way through the melee on the back straight and get through without incident. And that's Sven's key, really. If he can go through 3 races incident-free, he will be one of the top point scorers of the meeting. This lot really having to work hard, get their foot down to try and catch the pack. At the moment, it is Ben Palmer, I think, that's the last man in the... it's Adam Delmont, isn't it? Who's a bit adrift of that pack, but then you've got Harrod, Palmer and Rosen Hall at the back of the next pack. Just see Delmont, there he is, for XI Energy, and going at a decent pace. Miguel Freitas is really looking impressive, actually. I know we said he set the fastest lap. Yet again, he was almost the fastest man on the track. In fact, he was only 4/10 slower than George Simmons' fastest lap of the race the last time round. 2:14.46 plays 2:14.50. So, man from Portugal, Adam, really looking good. And he looks like he's got some solid pace in that Team Mad car, that's for sure.
Yeah, he began the season well with a 9th and an 8th at Silverstone. Obviously, we won't talk about what happened in race 3. Got a podium at Snetterton in race 2. And then since then, he's had at least one finish in the top 10 every single race meeting at Road Atlanta and at Catalonia last week. And now he's trying to get 8 away from the Pram leader, Rich Warmingham. He's going to go around the outside. If this could work, it'll be quite a decent move. But alas, the XVR car is able to keep the Portuguese at bay for now. Got a 4th at Catalonia as well in race 1, did Miguel Freitas. So, 3rd and a 4th.
Like we know he's good. I mean, he used to be challenging for titles, and I think he won a title in the Club 73 Touring Car Championship that we used to cover. So, yeah, he's very, very good indeed, and it's the old World League Sim Racing days.
God, we had the Jetta as well. I don't know.
The Jetta, yeah, he was in that.
He was in that. There were quite a few interesting names in that Jetta class back then. Oh, by the way, Brandon and Cedric, they're not worrying about the Jetta at all. They're worrying about which Audi can be in front, and it's, for now, Jack Sedgwick. He's up the inside into the final corner. It
is effectively almost a Jetta, isn't it, really? Well, technically speaking, I suppose, is the Audi RS3.
Aren't they? Yeah.
Right, yeah, exactly. Brandon and Cedric again then toe-to-toe. Dan Kraft sets the fastest lap this time, 2:13.8. Quickly usurped by another Team Mad driver, Chris Wood, 2:13.6. And it's very surprising, Adam, what's happening in terms of the pack is actually getting closer together. I didn't anticipate this around here. I thought that the field spread would be quite substantial.
Yeah, and usually in race 1, it's the guys at the very top that set the way, obviously, because the field for race 1 is set purely on the qualifying pace. But here, we have really got a train forming. I don't know if it's just because of the way Sebring works, and Johnny Brandon moving over to the inside to keep Jack Sedgwick at bay. It is allowing more and more people to get involved, and this might help the guys outside the top 20 as well, because everybody's going to be slowing up as a result, and they might be able to get in and involved, and this might help the reverse grid as well, as here comes Sedgwick again. Going for it on the inside as we ride on board with Foggy. He's got the best seats in the house. Oh, a little bit of a touch. A little bit of a touch. There you go. Run into Tower Bend we go. Is he going to go on the inside? No, think better of it. We have still got half the race to go, Mark. Got Foggy, who lost a few places in the championship standings after the latest race meeting at Catalonia. it started off well. He won race 1, finished 9th in race 2, and then got DQ'd after race 3. So that was probably something that got taken up with the stewards there. And as a result, he lost a few places. It shows you how much you can lose when you get a 0-pointer in one of these races, because all you got to do is, even if you finish 1 lap down, you still get those points. And Sedgwick, he wants the points for the win. He's trying to get the lead. He did this a lap ago. You can see how much the car shakes about under braking, especially on this really pumpy Sunset Bend. And Jack Sedgwick again takes the lead. Let's see if he can hold on to it this time. Look at that, taking personal bests over the line there. 2 minutes 14. Wojciech Savinovic now comes to the party with a new personal best and a new fastest lap of the race, a 2:15.519. Shows you that the tyres aren't going away at all in these morning conditions. Someone trying to go up the inside there in turn 2, it looked like. Not too sure who that was. Might be back with Andrew Woodhouse, not too sure.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. One thing I think that the drivers, you know, they are cautious about trying to make these moves because of the nature of the track surface. As this is Simpson versus McFarlane, then Simpson's tyres seem to be coming to him as the race goes on. Just when I was listening to you talk, I was trying to respond to what you were saying about drivers getting DQ'd and things like that. Yeah, it's not what you want, because obviously that takes away all your points. Obviously that's an obvious statement, but really consistency is massively key, as these two continue to be side by side. They've done half a lap together.
Yeah, very, very close indeed between these two. Two of the best drivers in the series, really. Ross McFarlane up the inside. Alex Simpson, he finished second in his one and only full season in this championship, and Ross McFarlane, he finished third last season.
Yeah, it's two of the titans, isn't it? Really, Simpson gets ahead of McFarlane. This will be interesting to see now, as he's 1.1 seconds behind Dan Kraft. What can he do? Because, you know, he's really first got to get rid of Ross McFarlane, and the Scotsman is making sure that he will not be denied easily, as the lead battle is on, as well as we're seeing. Oh my goodness!
Down the back straights, it's the best part of terminal velocity, and they bang wheels and nearly go flying off the tracks together.
It was nearly terminal for them both.
That's true. Going into Sunset Bend, it was very nearly the end of that, or very nearly the sunset of their race. That was a very poor. It
wasn't that bad. I've heard worse. At least it wasn't the setting moon that you know. Oh, contact again.
God, they're dishing it out here.
Now a little bit of the nudgy.
Ooh. Oh
my.
Up the inside goes the V-Racer.
Just a little bit.
Oh.
And here comes Miguel Freitas. We mentioned the pace of him in the Team Mad car. Car 999. Hopefully he won't be calling ambulance after this.
No, he doesn't.
But he wisely slows down.
He doesn't want to replicate the Ferrari.
Oh, Simpson gone wide.
Oh.
He has. Through his McFarlane.
Yeah, through he goes up into 6th place. Ooh, a little bit more as the V-Racer car elevates itself up to 6th. Here comes Richard Warmingham, the Pro-Am leader, is now fancying a bit of the action.
Well, that's the thing. Simpson got offline, and then suddenly it's not him doing the leading and the attacking. He's having to. Oh, there's Paul Smith, and that's McIntyre. Not like they've been in the wars. Let's see it.
There's a replay.
Into the hairpin.
Maybe one of those. Yeah. Oh, stuck together at first, and they.
Oh, did he get finished off by the Automat car as well? Possibly. Did McIntyre?
Well, that's down as inconclusive, I think.
Well, they haven't lost out. Well, I say they haven't lost out a massive amount. Still, you know, hovering around reverse grid territory, I think.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, 32nd place. You're still right in there. Here's Rob Graham. He's got welcome back to Rusty Laidler. I don't think I've seen him here for I didn't see him here last week. Might have been. I just might not have noticed him. But through he goes at the inside into the penultimate corner.
Whatever welcome back in Russian is, I'm sure he'll know that. So, he's certainly Russian to get to the front. Ha ha ha. And surely he's going to pute in a good overtake here.
I know he's at the inside. And he's taking it.
No Kremlins to speak of at that time.
Oh dear, something's happened.
Oh, crash!
Massive one.
And then he's warming him, and it's Newman.
On Knight Rider Motorsports and XVR, well, I don't know whether Knight Rider was set in Florida, but it's definitely not been effective here. It's probably more Mission Impossible than Knight Rider for them now. Into turn one.
Swarmingham drift wide slightly.
Oh dear.
Oh man.
Saw a similar accident to Ben Hackerson. It was the same kind of speed. That was the exit chapel at Silverstone, and
absolutely obliterated.
Yeah, all four corners of that car pointing in a straight line. I'd be surprised. Well, it is. You had a much lighter accident at. Oh no, it definitely isn't. I was going to say you had a much lighter accident at Catalonia on Sunday, and the car's broken beyond repair.
Yeah, I mean, I would have. Well, I still finished the race, I suppose. It wasn't as bad as what it could be. Wojciech Svidovic is up in the top 10 then. It's fair to say, Adam, that he's not really absolutely shone in this Audi yet.
No, I think it's getting there. That is for sure. We have seen, obviously, in other series like the World Championship, for example, when the McLaren came out, it took a while for some to get the hang of it. Wojciech has been on the podium just once this season, and that was the third place at Snetterton. His best result after that was a sit at Road Atlanta. So as things stand, he's on for his third best result of the season so far.
He is he's a 5-time champion. Certainly he would not have expected to be talking about his third best result being 9th, but you know, he'll be thinking about the showdown, won't he? He's a master of the showdown, Adam, and really, he, you know, as long as he gets there in the end, I think he's going to be a danger.
Definitely, yeah. And we've seen in the past that he might not be leading
showdown in this championship. I've just thought about that.
Yeah, he might not be leading the points at the end of the regular season, but he always seems to at the end of the showdown. I think there is. I think there is a showdown.
There is a showdown. I couldn't remember because it's the winter series.
I think it's very short. I will get the rule book out for you for that. But I think there is a very short showdown.
The point is, though, if he makes it to the showdown, he's got as good a chance as anybody, given his experience, given his racecraft, the fact that he very rarely gets into trouble. I think he's going to be one to certainly keep an eye on. Simpson stayed ahead of McFarlane. Then this is the lead battle, though, and it now involves Dave Baker and Daniel Kraft. As you can see, the battle for 6th place actually is still raging.
Yeah, we've got a double XVR sim racing sandwich here, and similar to the one I was eating on in Leeds a couple of days ago, as they go through the left-hander. And
however, you have got the vernacular of the sandwich correct.
True. Yeah, thanks for that. And you can see the teams on the timing tower. As here comes Ross McFarlane back at Alex Simpson. V Racer versus ERT.
Oh my!
No quarter getting given here.
This must be frustrating for Freitas, because I think he's got the pace on both of these two, maybe, and he just can't get away past because they're always side by side.
And this is the final lap of the race, so they're going to have to. It's now or never, really.
Oh, and he was going up the inside. Was Ross? Didn't quite make it there, but yeah, Cedric coming to the final corner. Adam, he's gonna. Well, he might take the win if Foggy doesn't have a go into Sunset Bend.
Closing. Down to 1/10 of a second. He's going to try the outside. He might try and get the mother of all cutbacks, and then he'll be in the hands of the photo finish. Through the final corner we go then. And it's going to be Jack Sedgwick. It's going to take the checker flag and win his 2nd race of the season in the ARL TCR. Nico Foggy pushes him all the way, just over 1/10 of a second behind. It's a drag race though between McFarlane and Freitas, and it's Freitas that somehow gets 7th at the line.
That's quite astonishing, really. Freitas managed to get in front. at the last corner. This is Laidler and Van Broek. David Van Broek trying to keep the place over the veteran Laidler. Series veteran, I should say. Van Broek does get that one.
Here is Kip Stevens versus Pete Newman versus Sean Gardner. These are, we might not know it yet, but these could be potential reverse grid positions at play. And out of the final corner, it's going to be the Ultimate card at take 36 with Newman, unfortunately, him finishing it down in 37th, and then Sean Gardner never really moved from 38th. He finishes down there as well.
Is it not quite scary that these guys sometimes, a lot of the time, beat us on Sunday and they were at the back?
I think it's a good thing we're up here. That's all I'm saying. Covering this, I think we'd be fired by ERT by this point.
That's true. We'd be Pierre Gasly, I think.
I've got
whatever
more
team's below ERT.
Yeah.
Marco.
Not that we're likening Alex Simpson to Helmut Marko.
Well, no. He's got an extra. Well, never mind. Jack Sedgwick takes the win then over Nicole Foggy, and Johnny Brandon took third. Dave Baker in fourth. Dan Kraft in fifth. Alex Simpson, Ross McFarlane, Miguel Freitas, Wojciech Savinovic within 6/10 of each other, 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th. Jack Ashton was on that battle as well in 10th. Chris Wood in P11 with George Simmons 12th, 13th, Colin Cunny 14th, Jamie Rushworth, Ben Palmer in 15th, Christian Rose 16th, Adam Delmont in 17th place, Michael Hall 18th, 19th was Sven Glatzel, Pete Harrod 20th, Mark Woodhouse 21st, Lewis Bibby 22nd, Julian Janowski 23rd, Rob Graham in 24th position, ahead of David Van Broek, Rusty Laidler, Rich Warmingham, Jason Cooper, it's good to see him out there. Again, Jack McIntyre in 29th place, Adam Hadfield, I can't speak, Adam Hadfield 30th, Paul Smith 31st, Michael Blake 32nd, John Roberts 33rd, Edward May in 34th place, 35th, Adam Hedgecock 36th, Kip Stevens 37th for Pete Newman, Sean Gardner 38th, and then all the retirements, so quite several of them. Matthew Bunn, Ferenc Kern, Lars Van Rijn, Alex Neller, Martin Sampson, Adam McNally, Craig Harris, and Ben Galite did not make it to the finish, and actually they were all out quite early on, Adam, in the end.
Yeah. And we have quite a lot of retirements, as you can see on the list as well. So quite a lot to ponder on for many of the drivers there, and of course we've still got 2 more races to go, and the reverse grid will play a big part in that. So we'll welcome into the booth for the first time tonight Sam Kumo, who's been plugging away at the cameras, and now he can spin the reverse grid wheel and we'll find out who's going to be on pole for race 2.
Yeah, the wheel is spinning and we'll see what we get. And I definitely have to say that the Sebring is one of my favorite tracks of all time. So I've been really looking forward to this evening. And well, some drivers just got really lucky. It's 15 for the reverse.
15? Who does that go to?
That is... oh, God.
It goes to Ben Palmer.
There you go. With Jamie Rushworth in second for CQI. He'll be hoping to do well here. And it's Colin Cunniff in third place. He did very well last. We were speaking to him as well about all of that. George Simmons going to be starting in fourth, and then Chris Wood in fifth place. So very interesting grid. Wojciech Savinovic is going to be starting in seventh for this one, so he's going to be closer to the front for race 2. Yeah, see what the champion's made of. So we've got every incentive you need to come, so you can join us after the break here on the iRacing Esports Network. We're at Sam Kumo's favourite track. It's Sebring, and race 2 will be coming up after the break.
Growing up as a kid in Oklahoma, where I'm from, the Chili Bowl is the biggest race that we have. The Chili Bowl has kind of been my favorite race of the year. Growing up a dirt racer in Oklahoma, that's kind of the holy grail.
Coming for a splash. Three, two, one, now. All clear. Punch it. Great job. You did really well.
Oh, welcome back to the to the iRacing Esports Network, I should say. And welcome back to the Apex Racing League TCR Winter Series. We are at Sebring in Florida, where we've had a pretty entertaining start to the evening. Usually in race one, because it's set on qualifying, we usually see not too much movement at the front, but we had a fantastic scrap between Johnny Brandon, between Jack Sedgwick and the like. Much more scraps going on further down the field. Ross McFarlane and Alex Simpson just couldn't work out who wanted sixth place, and in the end, Miguel Freitas denied Ross McFarlane a place on a drag race to the line. And after all that, Andrew Woodhouse, we've only got 15 cars reversed, so expect the same kind of guys towards the front, and we'll see whether they can work their way up through the order to get there this time in race.
Could be very interesting because it is a lot of the same drivers, but we've seen absolute fireworks when faster drivers try to pass faster drivers. There's nobody slowing that top 15 as we showed in race one. So yeah, it should be brilliant. I'm really looking forward to this one. And also, it's better for the drivers lower down as well, to be honest, mate, because they're going to be racing. They're not going to have the fast guys coming through and absolutely wiping them out.
Yeah, which is true. Yeah, 15 cars getting reversed. That could really be interesting. It's not as good for the AM drivers, of course, because I don't think there were any of them inside the top 15. As we've got the grid now on the screen.
Yeah, Ben Palmer takes the pole then off the reverse grid. Jamie Rushworth second, Colin Cunniff third, George Simmons fourth, Chris Wood in fifth, Jack Ashton sixth, Wojciech Savidovic in seventh, Miguel Freitas eighth, Ross McFarlane ninth, Alex Simpson rounds out the top 10, Dan Kraft 11th, Dave Baker 12th, 13th place is Johnny Brandon, Nico Foggy in 14th, race one winner Jack Sedgwick in 15th, Christian Rose 16th, 17th for Adam Delmont, Michael Hall 18th, Sven Glatzel 19th, and Pete Harrod in 20th. The rest of the grid's going to cycle through. It's over to Adam for the start.
Here we go then. Ben Palmer, front of the grid on the right-hand side of your picture. Can he do from pole position? Yet to win a race this season, yet to even stand on the podium. Could this race be his day? What about Jamie Rushworth? Here we go. Green lights are on. Fantastic start by Jamie Rushworth. The CQR car's surely going to get the lead away from the line, and now Ben Palmer's in danger of getting really mugged here because another CQR car's into the mix. That is George Simmons. Oh, sorry, it's an ERT car. It's George Simmons trying to go around the outside. Wow. Colin Cunniff trying to take second place away going into turn 2, but Ben Palmer looks like he's going to try and hold strong around the outside here, and he does. So Ben Palmer remains in second, Cunniff third. Watch out for Simmons and Chris Wood. Wood on the inside. Let's hope we don't have as much shenanigans as we did in race 1 here.
No, very clean through the first sector, which we do like to see. It was kind of around here that it all went to hell, wasn't it, in a handbasket last time. This is Chris Wood in P6. He's looking for 5th on Jack Ashton. Ashton on the outside of the hairpin. He's got the ERT Armada. Oh, goodness me. Wojciech Savinovic gives him the old hip and shoulder there. Now he's having a go at Simmons. He's through.
Oh, take that. There's one of the ERT cars goes flying into the side of somebody in the background there. And everybody else now cycling through. Palmer v.
Few off at the hairpin, actually.
Yeah, many cars off.
Woodhouse is off. Warmingham's off. Bibby's off. Oh, and off goes Edward May. The independent.
Now this is a replay of what happened. Warmingham, it was the top am in race 1 until it...
the ultimate car outbraked himself, it looks like. Smashed into Warmingham. George Simmons and Jamie Rushworth have crashed. They've had a big problem.
Oh, 4 wide. And I'm not sure cars are looking straight. Yeah, really massive problem for George Simmons. He was right at the front. There's a car over. That's Jamie Rushworth.
Yeah.
He was at the front as well. Oh, no.
He was, but he's not now. He's on his roof. Unbelievable. Well, I saw him tumbling down the order. And there's a Sim Sports USA car involved as well.
How does this... Oh, dear.
Oh,
Gets turned again and just keeps getting hit.
Oh, man. And then it rolls onto its roof nearly for good measure. So he can't get it back down. Oh, dear. Oh, Wojciech Svinovic is taking the lead.
Well, where did he start on the grid? Did he start at 8th or something? Or 7th?
Yeah, he's absolutely shown no trepidation whatsoever. 5-time champion into the lead. This is where he belongs, though, Adam. This is where he is the strongest.
See what he can do now that he's got a clear road in front of him. A reminder, his best finish this season's been 3rd. Oh, that's a V-Racer car up the inside. Nudgy on one of the Excite Racing cars. That's Ross McFarlane trying to get by Ashton.
And Ashton, yeah. Simpson versus McFarlane, round 574. Oh! A little bit of rudeness between the two of them. I do like that. Bit of touring car action. Can't be afraid. Touring car racing is sometimes a contact sport, Adam, anyway.
Really is. Should mention that. Yeah, we still get penalties for a bit of contact.
We try and keep the contact to a minimum, but it does manifest itself sometimes. We saw it between the two of them. Simpson probably smells victory as well. He's probably sees a chance here. But he's got a really good 3 drivers in front of him before he can even think about going to get to Wojciech Svinovic. We saw Chris Wood's car actually be very, very quick at the start of the previous round, and and there's someone on the runoff area there. That looks like Palmer, who started on pole position. He's fallen like a stone.
It's not gone at all well for him, has it? He could have had the potential to get on the podium and maybe a win.
Brandon's turned.
by Sedgwick. The number 2 car right into the right rear of that X VR car, I should say.
Johnny
now,
Brandon's probably so shocked that he's not being hit by an RSO car for a change. That he's finally realised that he's got a lot of company, and that's a lot of company. That's Delmont, Sedgwick, Simmons, Hall, and Freitas. Goodness me.
Round the outside goes one of the XVR cars there. I think that was Nick or Foggy. It is. Now he's wheel to wheel with Dan Kraft. Oh, up and over the dirt on the exit, the left-hander now through the long right, the big bend towards the hairpin.
This is what we were talking about, though, wasn't it, in race 1, that this track being a bit narrower, old airfield circuit, might force the drivers to be a little bit physical out there. And they have been, but they've been respectful. So you don't mind a bit of contact, but it's when it gets silly that is the problem. And these guys are doing a great job of it being clean as you can be. Oh, a bit like that. Oh, wow.
Well, Delmont capitalises there to get by Brandon into Tower Bend, and now Sedgwick trying to go around the outside of Brandon. These two are fighting for the lead in race 1. They're now trying to... Oh! They're getting very close to each other in race 2. This is over 12th and 13th. Adam Delmont, by the way, top am in the field. Here he is.
It is an ERT car for Jack Sedgwick. Sponsorship reasons. I mean, it's a slightly different livery. But they're still side by side. This is a brilliant view from the Excite Energy car of Adam Delmont, who's up in 11th place. He's leading the AM category at the moment.
Doing a fantastic job indeed. Yeah, it is Adam Delmont. We were saying at the beginning of race 2 that because of the small reverse grid, it's not really going to help the Pro-Am drivers. But there you go. Adam Delmont gained 6 places, and he's in with a shout of being in the top 10 overall, as Sedgwick looks like this time he's got by Johnny Brandon. And is he going to be able to hold on to it on the exit? The XVR car is going to try and respond down the front straight. It is very close for the fight for the lead as well. Wojciech Svidovic may have just put in a new fastest lap of the race, but Chris Wood is not letting the reigning champion get away whatsoever. The gap is 0.2 of a second. Chris Wood put in his new personal best as well on the previous tour.
Yeah, and you know, it's telling, isn't it, that Wood is managing to stay with Svidovic. No disrespect to Chris Wood whatsoever. I think in previous seasons in the old car, I think you would have expected there'd only be one winner in this battle, but Wood is doing a terrific job. As he always does, to be honest, Adam. He never really lets his team down, does Chris Wood?
He doesn't. He is a very consistent performer, as Colin Cunniff is now under pressure from Dave Baker, who finished well in race 1, and here he is in race 2. He's up in his customary 6th place, or is he? Because here comes Ross McFarlane. Alex Simpson, by the way, around the outside there of Jack Ashton. It looks like the once commentator of this series is now up into P3.
Yeah, sadly, he's the most successful commentator in series history.
Did try
now these days.
It's not for lack of effort on our part. We're just just not as good.
Here all the time.
Yeah, that's a better excuse. Why didn't I think of that? As at the inside, then this is XVR versus this was Racing USA. Well, now apparently it is known as CQR.
Bit of a nudge down the back straight by Foggy on Dan Kraft. And go round the outside in Sunset Bend. Oh, he's lost the rear slightly. It's gone a bit wider than he would have liked, I think, there, Adam, but he's gathered it all together. He might be able to have a run into turn 1. Svidovic sets another fastest lap, and then Simpson sets the fastest lap.
Yeah, Svidovic, who just had the fastest lap on the previous tour, is now being held by his teammate. Yeah, Foggy up the inside. Just not enough of the Audi alongside to make the move stick, and now he's under pressure because here comes Dan Kraft's teammate Ben Palmer, who's on a bit of a resurgence after losing those places early on.
Yeah, I mean, he finished 15th in race 1. He was looking like for a while he was heading towards 15th again. But he's, like I say, he's got himself together. He's got his momentum back, and he's back in the fight. This is Delmont, Brandon, and Hall having a scrap. Credit to Adam Delmont. He's we know he's got some good pace in him, but leading the AM category by a fair distance over Adam Hadfield.
Now what
Fair
can
distance
Michael...
in terms of places, at least, not in terms of actual distance on the track, because they are quite close together, actually.
You could hear there Michael Hall just getting out of the throttle a little bit. He didn't know what was going to take place here between Johnny Brandon and Adam Delmont. Close fight here between Excite and XVR going into Tower Bend. It's 90-degree right, which pretty much is just one line. You can't really go 2x2 through here, and they're running over the dirt there on the exit of the Sim Sports Racing USA car.
Yeah, they've got to be a little bit careful as well. They don't want to be getting on the marbles, getting the tyres dirty. It can play havoc with the way you have to drive the circuit, especially around the circuit like this, where Sam Kumo was saying in the break, you've got to be so precise, and it's really hard to get a good lap together. Don't want to make it worse by getting all this detritus on your tyres. Certainly.
Close for the lead once again. This is the continuing battle between Wojciech Savidovic and Chris Wood. Just 0.2 of a second between them, really. And Alex Simpson is now within a second of the leaders.
Wood is all over Savidovic.
He really is. Chris Wood, who has won a race this season, been on the podium twice, sets a new personal best, and here he comes.
What a fastest lap by McFarlane as well, 2:13.307.
Wojciech remains in the lead. What about Alex Simpson? Has he won a race this season? The answer to that is yes, and he's been on the podium once. That's the only time he was on the podium.
That's one thing that Simpson's going to need to do if he wants to get into the showdown again. If he wants to challenge for the championship, he needs to get the consistent results that we know he's capable of doing. Been caught up in too many things at the start of the season. A bit like the start of last season, actually. Not quite as bad as that, but certainly. And look at this. Wojciech Savidovic is pretty much almost holding up the entire field, it looks like, at the moment. And I would not have thought I would ever say that in my life when we launched this Audi series.
Almost as if he's got a bit of success ballast in the car or something. Now that would add another dimension to this series, but unfortunately for Wojciech, there is no lead sat in the car next to him.
We do need that. I think that would be a terrific thing to happen.
But would you say it would be another can of worms? I don't know.
No, because it'd be built into the rules, wouldn't it? That's the thing. If it was a way that iRacing could attach the success ballast, you know, in an automated fashion, then why not? It'd be great.
Well, it works well in the VTCC. So race 1, it's done by the points, and then race 2 and race 3, it's based on the results. So the championship leader suffers in qualifying in race 1, and then after that he's all good for race 2 and race 3. So
yeah, unless he wins the first race.
Yeah.
But then he's good anyway because he's got the points.
Ross McFarlane.
Sorry.
Yeah, McFarlane v Ashton into the final corner, I should say. Getting behind myself here, and Alex Simpson. Oh, there's a smattering of cones go flying.
Jeez. Oh, look at this.
Wow. How on earth has he done that?
There's a bit of argy-bargy going on.
Well, Ross McFarlane lost a place on that final corner in race 1.
He's going for it.
He's getting the line race 2. Yeah, you're right. Here he is. He's through.
Brilliant. It's a tremendous move by Jack Ashton. Excite Energy are going to be very pleased with that.
But on the podium, up for grabs here. Ross McFarlane is trying to make a break for it. I think he was trying to do that in the whole of race 1, but Alex Simpson was just keeping him at bay. And now, McFarlane is firmly looking forward at Chris Wood and Wojciech Savidovic. You mentioned him a lap ago. He put in a new fastest lap of the race.
We will get something very special if he does finish on the podium, of course. We'll get some podium credits. They'll go towards the showdown.
A little bit of the credits as I don't know if they're
the bonus point.
Yeah. Oh. What was I saying about Alex Simpson not giving up? Here he is.
He will fight. He will fight hard. That is for sure. Raced with and against him long enough. Almost 10 years now. And to know that he does not... Can't get rid of him easily, even when you're ahead of him. You just cannot shake him. He'll just keep pounding in the lap times and going to struggle to get the better of him in the end. He's raced against some of the world's best, like the Gregor Hutus and Martin Kronkes of the world for the last several years, and that experience being put into good use in the ARL TCR.
And not too many we have had drivers from the World Championship Series come and have a crack at it in this series in the past, and
a couple from the Oval World Championship as well.
Oh, we have Ray Alfala, and he did get a win or two in the series.
Blackman was here as well.
Yeah, in fact, Ray Alfala had his own team in Alfala Tech.
Did get a few podium finishes, the former world champion.
He won at Motegi when we did race on the ovals. This is Colin Cunniff that is on the outside.
Also, Alfala had a terrible season, didn't he, in the peak antifreeze series? It just did not go well for him. So I think he's having to go into the Pro Series, which is amazing for a driver of his caliber. Foggy's up against the pit wall.
More than I think there's a bit of contact involved there. Round the outside goes Foggy though. Hasn't deterred him in the slightest. Him versus Dan Kraft. He versus Dan Kraft for 7th place.
So getting a bit fraught out there. Is there some impatience settling in, I wonder? It's the enemy of a good touring car race is impatience, isn't it?
Yeah.
Or maybe it's the friend of a good touring car race, who knows?
You'd think that would help us do well. I think you've got to have a bit more than that as you go towards the hairpin. On the outside goes Palmer. That's him getting past his teammate if he can just about make it done. No, he can't, and Dancraft just about falls back ahead of his teammate. But they've lost a bit of ground to Sedgwick as a result.
Yeah, they need to be careful they don't hold each other up and end up getting swamped by Brandon and Cunniff here. Still fanning out too wide, almost in the middle of the circuit. Foggy versus Ashton again. What's going on in the middle sector?
Into Tower Bend. Up the inside goes Foggy. Ashton, has he got a response? I think Foggy leaves the door ajar just a little bit, just to say, come and have a go if you think you can. And he just about can't. And now he's got to watch out because here comes Jack Sedgwick. He's pulled away from the two Sim Sports Racing USA cars, and now he wants to try and get 7th or maybe even 6th place in the closing stages.
Not too long to actually get that done. Could be the final lap next time by, actually. I think it will be, because we've got 2-minute 14-second lap round here. It's crazy. You don't think of Sebring as being a massively long circuit, but it is one of the longest laps of the season for the TCR.
I think we always seem to say that every week. The laps almost always seem to be in around the 2-minute mark, don't we? I'm trying to think of a circuit where it's actually about a 90-second lap or so. Yeah.
Brands GP?
Yeah, I'd say that's probably one of the shorter ones. But here we go. Can we probably say it's a free car scrap for the lead now? Ross McFarlane, he's really starting to make some ground here.
Yeah, I mean, it's getting very close, isn't it? And Chris Wood is now going to start looking over his shoulder a little bit at Ross McFarlane. This is the dilemma for Wood, though, isn't it, Adam? It's a great finishing position in second. It's a great position. If he goes for the win and it doesn't work, he could end up third. Off goes McNally in the background. Oh, and almost making contact through Big Bend. McIntyre and Cooper.
See what Cooper can he hold? Can he hold him at bay going into the hairpin? It's Automech on the inside.
Quarter of a second at the front, Adam. Quarter of a second.
Indeed, yeah. And this is, you'd expect to be the final lap of the race. Hi to Chaz Draycott, by the way, on the YouTube stream. But I'm sure he's as intrigued as us to work out who's going to win this.
Former colleague of ours, of course. Very esteemed commentator in his own right.
Right, Chris Wood, he won race 3 at Snetterton. He was on the podium in race 3 at Road Atlanta in race 2. In race 2 so far this season, his best finish has been 4th, and that was at Catalonia last week.
Yeah, and you know, always striving for those better results to get those podium credits, help you out in the showdown. Penultimate corner, problem for Wood. He's got a really bad run, and McFarlane's really closing in.
A 0.4 of a second between Wojciech Savidovic and Chris Wood. If he can keep it at that length, he's on course for his first win of the season. Into the final corner we go.
Oh, he's having to defend. That's the problem.
Through the final turn, the checker flag is waiting, and it's going to wave for Wojciech Savidovic for the first time this year. He gets a win. Second is going to be Chris Wood, just ahead of Ross McFarlane, with Simpson, Foggy, Baker, Sedgwick fastest lap of the race. And look at this, a drag race for 19th.
McIntyre and Cooper. 3 1,000ths in it. Oh, that was super close.
And it continues. This is McNally versus Hedgecock versus Nella. And it's going to be 29th for the Geordie. I hope he's from Newcastle anyway. Yeah, he takes 29th. Hedgecock 30th and Nella in 31st.
What a win for Wojciech Savidovic. You know, it's a big tonic to a champion to get the first win of the season, because it proves that they've arrived in the competition. And Wojciech Savidovic has had a few difficulties with crashes and with poor finishes, poor qualifying, a bit of poor qualifying today as well. But still, he shows the quality of a champion. He did not bow down to the pressure, the unrelenting pressure that Chris Wood and Team Mad were providing.
I think not. He's 34th in the overall points.
Jeez.
Obviously he did miss Catalonia last week, but
Yeah, he did.
apart from that, he had an awful race meeting at Snetterton, third in race 1, but then DNF and then PRT in race 3.
Well, that's it. Just to look at it, right? You've got his results this season: 40th, 33rd, 39th, 3rd, DNF, protest. That's effectively a disqualification. 15th, 6th, 15th. 3 did not start, and then 9th in race 1 here in the win. So he had a horrible. He literally had 2 good races out of 12.
And ERT haven't had too much to shout about as a team either, really. Alex Simpson obviously got the win at the beginning of the campaign. He won Road Atlanta, but it's been Jack Sedgwick that's been flying the flag for them. With
Simpson is in 12th overall, isn't he? Sedgwick is 2nd.
And then you got Simmons also, who didn't have the best. He was at the front at the start of this one, but then dropped down the order after that. And the race results are up on your screen. And would he take it away?
Wojciech Savidovic then, first win of the season for the 5-time champion. Well deserved. It was the first couple of laps that really made it for him. Chris Wood in 2nd for Team Mad. Ross McFarlane in 3rd. Alex Simpson 4th. Dave Baker 5th. Nico Foggy 6th. Baker sneaking in there into the top 5. Jack Sedgwick 7th. Jack Ashton in 8th, ahead of Dan Kraft. Johnny Brandon in 10th. Ben Palmer 11th, and Colin Cunningham in 12th position. Michael Hall 13th. 14th for Miguel Freitas. 15th Sven Glatzel. George Simmons in 16th. Pete Harrod 17th. Adam Hadfield 18th. 19th for Jack McIntyre, and 20th for Jason Cooper. And then it's the 3 KRD cars: Bun, Laidler, Newman 21st, 22nd, and 23rd. Janowski 24th, then Blake, Woodhouse, Warmingham, Bibby, and then 29th for McNally, Hedgecock in 30th, then Nella, Stevens, Graham, Gardner, Kern, Paul Smith, Sampson, John Roberts 38th, and then Rose and Rushworth were the last finishers on the lead lap. Adam Delmont will be classified in 41st, so if we do get a full or a number over 41, will be he that goes on to pole position. We only lost to 3 cars, actually, didn't we? Edward May, David Van Broek, and Lars Van Rijn were the victims of some early incidents.
So not as many retirements as race 1.
Very clean race, really.
It was, yeah. Now I wonder if the reverse grid wheel is going to throw a fall or something, and then maybe scupper that for race 3. We'll have to wait and see, because here is Sam Kumo. He's got the wheel ready for the final time tonight, and we're going to see who's on pole position for the final race.
The wheel is spinning, and yeah, definitely very remarkable few retirements. So let's see what we get for the third one. It's very close, and it is full -1.
Oh, brilliant!
It's
So
not brilliant for whoever was one lap down there. I think it was Adam Delmont, wasn't it? But I think it's going to be pole position for Jamie Rushworth, Adam.
Oh well, what a moment for him. He was on his roof at the end of lap 1 here in race 2, and now he's going to be at the front of the grid. It's going to be his teammate alongside him in Christian Rose, it looks like. So an opportunity for CQR to maybe get a welcome result on the board here. We'll have to wait and see, though. And as we've seen so far tonight, pole position is no guarantee of success. So we're going to take a quick break on the iRacing Esports Network, and we'll be back for the concluding race of the day here in the ARL TCR Winter Series. We'll be back in a bit.
Growing up as a kid in Oklahoma, where I'm from, the Chili Bowl is the biggest race that we have. The Chili Bowl has kind of been my favorite race of the year. Growing up a dirt racer in Oklahoma, that's kind of the holy grail.
We're almost out of fuel. You'll have to come in for a splash. Three, two, one, now. All clear. Punch it. Great job. You did really well.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $100,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Welcome back to the iRacing Esports Network and the Apex Racing League TCR Winter Series from the Sebring circuit in Florida in the United States. Hello everybody, Andrew Woodhouse and Adam Bath with you for race 3 of the evening. Adam's just had a couple of difficulties getting into the session, I believe, so I'll take you through the warm-up and the start of the gridding process. Yeah, it was a terrific second race we had. Wojciech Svidovic taking his first win of the season. And Adam, how important is it for a driver like Wojciech Svidovic, who's had a poor start to the season, to get that first win?
Much needed confidence boost for him. I'm sure it wasn't the most easiest of wins. It wasn't it wasn't vintage Wojciech. Easy for me to say. So I'm sure he'll be glad to get off the mark and see what he can do for the final race. And just after he gets a win, we throw a 4-1 into the equation. So he's going to be starting pretty much end of that.
He's probably thinking, yeah, it's just my luck that he'll be starting 40th for this one. Yeah. Yeah, he won't be thanking the reverse grid wheel for that one, but it's the same for everybody. Everybody has is at the mercy of the wheel. We know this from the BSRTC on Sunday nights. The wheel can be a cruel mistress. Now, we'll have to take a look at the grid in just a few seconds when it does arrive. But there'll certainly be a few drivers who didn't have the most wonderful race 2, who are going to be starting somewhere near the front. In fact, in just a few seconds, we will get the grid up on the screen for you. And here it is. Jamie Rushworth is the one on pole position. So a terrific prospect in store for CQR with the 1-2 at the moment. Then you've got 10 AM drivers. John Roberts leading the way. Martin Sampson in 4th. Paul Smith in 5th. Ferenc Kern 6th. Sean Gardner 7th. Rob Graham 8th. Kip Stevens 9th. Alex Neller in 10th. Adam Hedgecock 11th. Adam McNally in 12th. 13th for Lewis. Bibby Richard Warmingham in 14th. 15th. Mark Woodhouse. 16th, Michael Blake, Julian Janowski in 17th, Pete Newman 18th, Rusty Laidler in 19th, and Matt Bunn in 20th. And Adam, great position for CQR. What can they do here?
Well, they'll be hoping to get a 1-2. Rushworth was at the front in race 2 and couldn't convert it. Was off before we can complete the first lap. Here we go.
Yes, a green flag flies a little bit early, I have to say. We are racing here for race 3 at Sebring. Look at the positioning at the back. You're going to see a lot of that later on. Some of the fastest drivers coming through the field, but Jamie Rushworth's got a great start from pole position. He leads. Oh, crash into the wall goes. I think is that Kip Stevens? I think Kip Stevens might have gone into the wall, and a couple of drivers collected him on the way through. John Robertson made a terrific start, and he ended up in second place, but he went off at the exit of turn 1, gave the position away to Christian Rose, and he also gave 3 more places away as well. Smith, Sampson, and Graham have got away. And Adam, tell you what, this is exactly what the guys who finished at the back in the last race wanted. They wanted a full because they knew they've got that buffer of drivers of a similar pace between them and the aliens at the back.
Yeah, they'll be hoping they can forge a way through the field together as we go into the right-hander in the middle of the lap. Oh, wow, gosh. Maybe up the inside there. That was very interesting. Still too wide in quite a few places going towards Tower.
Adam Hedgecock. Look at that.
What a move.
Oh, yes. And there's an Automec car off. It's Sampson.
There he's going there.
Off the track and down to 5th.
Not an ideal start for him there, and I need to watch out because here come the rest of the field. Ferenc Kern doing pretty well there in the early going. It's what we expected at the front regarding CQR, really. It's Rushworth and Rose pulling away quite a bit as we go down the front straight, the back straight, I should say.
Yeah. Where are we looking? Yeah. We're looking everywhere, really. There's all sorts going on. Oh, slow down for Foggy. Big slowdown. I think one for Ashton as well. And the 2 CQR, SimSport, USA, whatever they're called, the cars at the back as well, have also looked like they've got penalties. Svinovic is up to 31st then from where he started in 40th. Alex Simpson's up to 31st. Well, he's just taken Svinovic, actually.
And they're both
briefly, I don't know.
Yeah, it might be. They're going wheel to wheel down the front straight. Rushworth and Rose were very close at the end of the first lap, but it looks like Rushworth has been able to maintain his leaders.
Svinovic off.
Oh, he's back. Is he going to get back on? He is.
Oh, that was a brave rejoin right in front of his teammate. That could have gone a bit wrong.
Yeah, Alex
Look at that
was
in the background. Is that May versus... Who's that just a few cars behind? That's
Chris
May
Wood.
versus Wood. Yep.
runner-up in race 2, who is all the way now down in 36th place. How quickly a reverse grid could change one's fortune in the evening.
What can the independent do here then? To defend against one of the men who was super fast in the first 2 rounds. And Wood's been hit up the rear there, I think by Van Rijn. It could have been. Wood is punted. There goes Van Rijn. Oh, off! Nella! It all seems to go wrong at the same time for Boosted.
Oh, God. Yeah, he gets hit in the rear by one of the V-Racer cars, which just does a good job of avoiding it as they go into Tower Bend. You can see the tower there. It was on the left-hand side of your picture. At least we've got the same cameras. And it's still too wide at the very front of that train, isn't there? There's an automatic car. Good grief.
Took Blake. Just about Warmingham versus Cooper. Cooper on the inside, Warmingham on the outside. Oh, Christian Rose. He's going to go past Rushworth, I think.
Oh yeah, it's very close at the front for the race lead. Very close everywhere you look. And here we go. Smoke in the back. But yeah, you're right. Christian Rose, it takes the lead into the final corner.
Wow. So putting one over on his teammate there. Strong start for Smith as well. He's got 2 seconds on Roberts. So in third, he might get a little bit of the bubbly.
Well, it might be on ice right now for those two. Double bubbly at this rate. Alex Simpson's dropping down the order. So too's Dave Baker. In fact, there's massive movement. Massive wreck.
And Wojciech Savinovic is over.
Well,
it looks like it could be over for him.
Well, he was celebrating with a race.
It's back on its wheels, but does it move? No.
No, he did. Let's have a...
That's both of them out. That's Simpson out and Savinovic out. They were in a similar portion of the circuit. Let's see then. It goes off in front. Oh, it's Johnny Brandon. And one of the CQR, one of the SimSport cars. And then Simpson gets hit, and then Savinovic goes rolling down the course. And another SimSport car in the wall as well. Now, I think the drivers involved were Hall, Harrod, Brandon, and a couple of others.
Out of the race then, Wojciech Savinovic, Michael Hall, Alex Simpson, and Kip Stevens. So, what were we saying about ERT having a good evening? Well, it was in a good evening in race 2.
Good evening.
Now, not off.
Off!
It's Glatzel, and it's also, that is Colin Cunniff.
What's he doing? Stopping the car in the middle of the track! Oh! Get it going, man!
Broken?
Oh, is it broken?
Not too sure.
Is it broken?
Oh, he can't
I don't think he can steer. Oh. He can't steer. The car looked all right, but then there was no... Must have got a whack right on the side.
Yeah, he literally couldn't turn left at all, which at that part of the circuit really is a pain. Here's a replay.
Oh man. Cunniff flies down the inside and breaks the suspension of Glatzel. He tries to turn in, look. Actually, that was not his fault at all.
Full lock.
Full lock, and it's barely going left. What happened? Did Cunniff did he get suspension damage as well? I wonder, is he out of the race, or is he still going? Simpson's emerged after his repairs, and they're still on the lead lap, I believe.
So he might still get some points, as here is Colin Cunniff. Here he is. He's still alive, staying alive, going through final corner.
Lewis Bibby sets a 2:12.8. Goodness me. How has he done that? Everyone else is in the 13s, 14s, and 15s.
Incredible that by the Ultimate.co.uk car. And they've had a good start to the season after 4 race meetings, and here they are. They could be in search of a spot on the podium here.
Well, it's been a bit of a resurgence for Lewis Bibby this season. He started 13th. He's up to 4th. That is just a tremendous start.
John Roberts, 9/10 of a second behind him, and now here we are back in the thick of the action. Pete Newman has got a car disappearing and reappearing in front of him. That's George Simmons.
Simmons again, yeah.
And then after that, just up the road, it's Anna McNally in the Excite car who's trying to get by Ferenc Kern. Is he going to look at the inside? No, thinks better of it. This is an intriguing scrap. Of course, Ferenc Kern, a former World Championship Grand Prix Series driver, drove for Apex Racing in the McLaren.
And he got his best qualifying of the season, with, I think, 19th today, so really good. You can see that pace, though, I told you. When he starts going, once he realises the limit of this car, he will get there. He's very analytical, and he's very methodical. So he will find the pace eventually. It was the same in the McLaren, wasn't it, Adam? It took him a bit of a while to get to World Championship pace, but he got there.
Right now, he's trying to get one of those places. Pro-Am trying to get by a pro, in fact, as he tries to get by McIntyre into Sunset.
No, that's Hedgecock and McIntyre.
Sorry. Yeah.
Bibby's still in the 12s as well. He's catching that front pack very quickly indeed. Colin Cunniff's crashed, apparently. What's happened?
Oh, wow. He's retired back to the pits as well. So, sit rep here. What's going to happen?
So what's
into the final corner.
What's left of the XVR car from the earlier incident?
Oh.
Pulls it off. Maybe some hardware issue there if you can't turn or something, I'm not sure. We're looking at Sean Gardner and Jack McIntyre now. Contact! Oh. A Hedgecock trying to go through on Gardner, Adam. And the man who was fifth in the championship at the start of the evening, Adam Hedgecock, going up into 11th place. And Ferenc Kern's through.
Yeah, he's taking advantage too, so that's Gardner down to 13th place as a result, and positions that he's losing might not be at an end, because you can see how excited the ex-ice car is of Adam McNally. He's looking up the inside going into tower, but no way through. Oh, wow. Oh,
he likes a bit of the... He likes a bit of... Oh, off goes... Oh, dear. Gardner off.
Yeah. Well, he got absolutely smashed into by... I think it's actually...
By McNally, wasn't it?
Yeah. And he's gone straight on into the wall. He very nearly... I think he did actually get a bit of Ferenc Kern there, who's now wheel to wheel with McNally.
Excited.
Oh, that's two teams.
And then he exited as well after that.
Onto the back straight we go, then I don't think I can top that. Down the back straight we go, then here comes three different teams. We've got ERT, we've got Excite, and we've got Knight Rider Motorsports, all fighting over a spot in the top 15 here. Simmons on the outside going into the final corner.
I have a ball. Perhaps you'd like to bounce it.
Oh, doesn't bouncing around here.
Simmons.
We're nearly three wide, and we're looking here at a battle between Martin Sampson and Matt Bunn.
Yeah, and
but he's had a good race so far as Matt.
He has. He didn't have a very good race in race 2, but definitely a good one here. Up into 8th place. He's got the pace as Matt Bunn. Not always a consistent performance in the race for him. Ferenc Kern, you can see he's moving up. Rose and Rushworth are just 3/10 apart now still, but Christian Rose in a very good position really to win race 3 of the evening. Looking at CQR for them, Rose in 28th place in the championship, Rushworth up in 6th, and there's a car off, and that's Alex Neller. What happened to the boosted car, Adam?
Let's have a look. This is a replay.
Oh, warming up.
Oh, wow.
Goodness.
The last 2 laps haven't been kind to boosted sim sport.
No.
Or boosted in general. Sean Gardner's down there, Lars Van Rijn, Alex Neller, They're all down there. But meanwhile, things are looking very rosy for the CQR swarm here of, I say swarm, it's two. It's Christian Rose and Jamie Rushworth. But is that about to be broken? Because Paul Smith has done a fantastic job. He's right on the rear of the two CQR cars. And Lewis Bibby, who's been putting in those quick laps, as you've been saying, is right there 2 and 4.
Well, that's the thing. I think Bibby gave Smith the hurry up. And Smith, to his credit, has really increased the pace. He's in the 12s now as well, is Paul Smith. He will have been wondering where the heck this pace was in the first 2 races. But it's here now, and he needs to make use of it. But surely for the championship, Adam, I know it's a bit early to be thinking about that, but Rushworth up in 6th, Rose is down in 28th. Potentially you just give Rushworth as many points as he can, because the second place is definitely going to help Christian Rose. And there's a bit of contact between Smith and Rushworth.
Yeah, it begins. 13 and a half minutes gone, just over 7 minutes to go then, and that's not too many laps to decide this. And I'm really intrigued to see what Paul Smith's going to do here. Obviously, he's come close in the past to getting overall race victories. He very nearly won at Donington if it wasn't for Alex Simpson. And now he's trying to get by the CQR cars. One for reference, Kurt.
Oh, and that's with
Newman.
It's not Newman. It's been a shocker for him.
Now, let's see what happens here to cause all this. Now, at this point, Ferenc Kern is behind Newman.
He's nowhere near him, actually. So, I imagine this is going to be
a
quarter panel.
Oh,
Kern got taken out on it, I think, separately.
I'm not even sure if Ferenc got hit or not on that cage. I don't know what.
Well, unless he just lost the rear. Let's have a look and see if we can see what exactly happened to the German.
Well, here it is. The replay of what happened to
Michael Blake behind him. Boff, there he goes. Oh dear. Michael Blake. My old team boss getting a bit excited on the brakes there.
Yeah.
Maybe not excited enough, actually.
5 minutes to go then, and look at this insane scrap over.
Oh, it's brilliant.
15th place, and it's a mixture of pro and pro-ams as well. We've got Blake and Warmingham, and then...
Oh, Smith is 1/10 behind. Oh, he's 1/10 ahead of Bibby, sorry.
He's still top am though, but this is over a spot on the podium. And the bubbly is going to Bibby at this rate. Bibby bubbly.
Bibby for the little bit of the bibbly.
Oh, inside and through goes the Automate.co.uk car. They're going to be loving this in the Automate camp.
Smith's trying the big cutback, but he can't do it. Bibby is very quick in this race. He's astonishingly fast. 2:12.6 on the previous lap. 2:13.1 was still the fastest man out there apart from Nicole Foggy. But he's down in 18th place.
Right, CQR have been resolute up to this point. Now they've got Bibby behind them. What can he do about Jamie Rushworth and Christian Rose at a second and first right now?
Well, with what's probably going to be 2 laps to go, Adam, if something is going to happen, it's going to have to be very, 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 very soon.
Right, the hairpin is one of the overtaking points, but as you can see, Jamie Rushworth covering the inside line. It will take a bit of an effort to get it done around the outside here. Sends it.
He's late on the brakes. He almost hits Rose. I think he does hit Rose, but he's going to get the better of Rushworth. He drives out of the hairpin. Lewis Bibby gets an astonishing run out of the hairpin. Great momentum for the Automate car. The Automate.co.uk, and they're almost taking each other out.
God. They somehow survive, and Bibby has managed to separate the 2 CQR cars, but it's not over yet. Is Rushworth going to look at the inside into Tower? He's not close enough.
Bibby's very right to be impatient here. He's got tremendous pace. He's had much greater pace than anybody in this race. So he needs to utilise it. He needs to get in front. Christian Rose is desperate for a win because his championship is in tatters at the moment.
Lewis Bibby lies. Lies in 39th in the championship. Yet to stand on the podium.
Smith is eyeing up the bubbly.
He's got to get by Jamie though, who's desperate for some. He was on his roof earlier. He was legless. He was on his roof in his car. And now he wants some of the bubbly for the spot on the podium. Bibby wants the lead.
Bibby's going for it. into Sunset Bend. He's trying to wrestle the lead away from Christian Rose. Rose grimly holding on with his fingernails at the moment. He's led ever since about lap 3.
And Rose
Final lap of the race, Adam. White flag is in the air.
There we go. Into turn 1. Christian Rose yet to win a race this season as well.
Round the outside goes Lewis Bibby. And he takes the lead against all odds. He was miles behind this group. He was about 6 seconds away. And the AM driver has closed the gap. He's driven right up to them. He's passed them all. And he's driving away from CQR. This is astonishing.
Have CQR got anything in response? We'll have to wait and see. But this is extraordinary by automate.co.uk.
Where's this come from? Where's that car been? Where's the pace been in that Audi?
Bibby's best finish this season was a 6th place in race 3 at Snetterton. Aside from that, he finished 8th in race 1 at Silverstone at the beginning of the campaign. Since then, he's been pretty much outside the top 10 ever since. So
it is not over.
Where's your statue, Lewis Bibby? He's still got to defend for half a lap.
This is not over at all, because Christian Rose seems to have picked the pace up. He's got his head down and he's looking forwards now instead of backwards. It's amazing what difference it can make. You can see Roberts, Woodhouse, Graham in the background wanting to pick up any scraps of a potential coming together here, but we're into the final 40 seconds of the race here on the iRacing Esports Network. It's the Apex Racing League TCR. It's down to the final lap. Lewis Bibby, Christian Rose, Jamie Rushworth, Paul Smith, 4 drivers, 3 spots on the podium, 1 winner. Who's it going to be?
Straight left. We've got Sunset Bend to decide it as well. It's a good exit from Bibby. Or is it? The gap is starting to come down. Rose has got the slipstream. Bibby knows that. He's moving about to try and disrupt the tow. A bit of a late shift there through the gearbox. Rose is coming.
It's a difficult overtaking to Sunset. We've seen it in the past, and he hits him. He's sliding through the corner. He's sliding through Sunset Bend. He slid massively, and he's going to lose the podium. Smith is coming past Christian Rose, but Jamie Rushworth, he's coming to the line, and he's going to win round 3 of the evening. Jamie Rushworth, well, he didn't have the pace early on, but he's come back in well. Oh, a bit of frustration setting in for Bibby. I don't blame him massively, but it was the last corner, Adam, and you have to try and unsettle the car in front, even with a bit of a nudge. Sometimes we'll see what the stewards make of it.
Well, Christian Rose darted to the outside. This is a replay from on board with Jamie. This is Christian Rose. Slightest touch on the left rear. Oh, he very nearly held on to it as well.
The thing to remember really is, and again, Christian doesn't really ever get involved in contact, it doesn't seem. So I feel like it was accidental, but well, of course it's accidental. I feel like it was a bit. He maybe didn't mean to hit him quite as hard as he did. Maybe he was going for the inside, and as a result, you have to brake earlier. You have to minimise that angle, don't you, Adam? And you have to scrub some speed off. So it's natural that he's going to be earlier on the brakes, but you would expect that Rose would anticipate that maybe slightly better.
But and you see afterwards, you've got a feel for them. You've got a feel for Ultimate.co.uk. They were all. I'm sure the corks were already off the bubbly for them, and all of a sudden they end up finishing in 4th place. Paul Smith gets
the
podium.
Bubble burst, didn't it?
Oh, it did.
In unceremonious fashion. Paul Smith gets on the podium. He will be spraying a little bit of the bubbly later on. And I tell you, he'll be very happy indeed. His Twitch stream will be going mad. Well, Rushworth wins the race. Then you can see on your screen, Christian Rose in 2nd place. Brilliant performance by CQR. They started 1-2. They finished 1-2. That's exactly how you want to do it. Paul Smith in 3rd. Lewis Bibby in 4th. Tell you what, he was 4th for a lot of that race. He was the fastest man out there. Got to the front. Couldn't keep it. Unfortunate, really, for him. But still a brilliant 4th. Let's not beat around the bush. Still his best result of the 2019 Winter Series. John Roberts in 5th. Mark Woodhouse in 6th. Rob Graham 7th. Jack McIntyre in 8th. Matt Bunn in 9th. Adam McNally gets 10th. Josh Simmons was 11th. Adam Hedgecock 12th. Then Dan Kraft, Jason Cooper, Michael Blake, Nico Foggy, who moved through quite well. Julian Janowski, David Baker. And then in 19th place was Ben Palmer. And Rich Warmingham rounds out the top 20. Ross McFarlane in 21st place. Hadfield and Sedgwick there coming in. Laidler 24th on his return to the series. Jack Ashton 25th. But then Freitas and Wood, who they did pretty well, but they couldn't quite parlay that pace that they had earlier on into a real charge through the field. Newman and Brandon, then May, Van Broek, Sampson and Gardner, Van Ryan and Nella, and Harrod on the lead lap. Alex Simpson did finish the race. He will score points for 37th. Ferenc Kern, unfortunately, too much damage for him. He will not. He did not manage to get out in time to be classified. And then the retirements from the race: Colin Cunniff, Kip Stevens, Sven Glatzel, Michael Hall, and crucially, Wojciech Savidovic. So he did win a race tonight, Adam, but he's bounced it out with another DNF.
Oh dear. So many talking points after this race meeting then. Automet.co.uk within about half a lap of a win, or maybe even in a corner of a win. And the YouTube chat is gone fully into meltdown over it. Some people saying he was robbed. Maybe so.
He will say that he was, and you know, it's hard to disagree. It is, but again, it's the last corner of the last lap. Not that it excuses anything, but you know, well, it's going to go down to the stewards. That's all we're going to say. It has to. That's how it works in the ARL TCR. If you have an issue on the track, you got to get that protest form in. So let's see how it goes.
Well then, who have we got to speak to us yet? No one yet.
No
but,
one.
I can imagine why. Let's have a look at the next. Well, I think it's a good thing that we've got an off week next week because we've got time to digest what we've seen here today, and then when we come back afterwards, as I get the series info up and just seeing where we're heading to next, and see if we can match it for the drama that we saw here today. The next race meeting after this one is after the one we've seen today. We've got a week off, and then we're into Lagos, the GP circuit on the 7th of November. That should be fun.
That'll be a cracking race. Probably the first time that we've seen these cars in action in Brazil, and that's going to be tremendous, I'm sure. Right then, I think that's pretty much all. If there's going to be nobody to come and speak to us today, but Adam, I thought that was a brilliant meeting. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I have my reservations about Sebring, but I think they've all been blown away by what we've seen in the 3 races that we had today. Obviously, in race 1, Johnny Brandon and Jack Sedgwick, they fought it out for the win. Then in race 2, we had Wojciech Savidovic take his first win of the season. I don't think many of us expected it to take 3, 6, 9, so 14 races for Wojciech Savidovic to get a win on the board. And then in race 3, the pace of Lewis Bibby. And if John Roberts, if hopefully the stewards they get a right decision from that, and we'll see what they decide. And now we head on a week's break.
I think the thing that gets me is I think if Lewis Bibby can harness that pace and bring it to every race meeting, we've got a new title contender on our hands, I think, because he could certainly charge up the point standings if he keeps having races like that. Currently 39th, but still time for him. Right. Thank you, everybody, for joining us here tonight in the Apex Racing League TCR Winter Series. From Andrew Woodhouse, from Adam Bath, and Sam Kumo's done a great job, as usual, on the cameras. It's goodbye from Sebring, and we'll see you in 2 weeks' time in Brazil.